Okay, boys and girls, so we just watched a really great video from a teacher that was explaining to you the difference between important and interesting details. Remember, important details are what we're looking for when we start looking for determining the main idea of a text. Now, as a teacher and as a learner myself, I think it is so important to take what you are seeing in front of your face and you put it down on paper, because whenever you take a pencil or a marker or a crayon or a pen, whatever you're going to use today, and you put it down on paper, there's power in that, because you're thinking and you're writing and you're imagining and you're doing all kinds of things. So what you need now is you need a notebook. It can be any notebook. It can be one that you've had in the past or a brand new notebook. If you don't have a notebook, you do need a sheet of paper that you can write this down on. Because if you were sitting in my class right now, I would say, boys and girls, if Ms. Flood is writing, then you are writing too. So this is so important that you get this down on paper. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through this video, and as you need to pause the screen to record the information that's going to be on this anchor chart, and this is your very own mini anchor chart that you will use to study, just pause it and write down what you need to. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get a sheet of paper and you need to create this T-chart that you see in front of you. And so if you write big like me, you might need to do this on 2 different papers. I'm using a marker right now, and you can use multiple color markers, whatever makes you happy. So just a T-chart, and what you're going to do at the top of one is just write important versus interesting. You could write important details versus interesting details, okay? What you're also going to do is you're going to record the information that is underneath each side of this T-chart, because when you do that, it's going to translate into your schema files in your brain, and that will definitely help you make and determine what's the difference between important versus interesting details in a text. All right, so the first thing we're going to write is important details. They are critical. If this is an important detail, it is critical in understanding the text. Now, I have a thumbs up right there, and all you can do is put a check mark, because that is most important. An interesting detail is it is cool to know, but it does not help me understand. So for that, you might just want to put a dash, like, it's good to read about, but this detail does not in any way help me determine the main idea of a text. So if you need to pause and write this down, go ahead and do that. The second thing we need to record under important details is this detail definitely relates to the main idea of the text. It definitely has a word that you might see in the title. It definitely has a word that you might see in a subtitle. This detail helps me determine the main idea. However, there may be another detail in the text that it is neat to know, but okay to forget. A lot of times when we're reading nonfiction text, an author might have to throw in a really cool idea or a really cool detail or a really cool fact. But you know what? It's just cool. It doesn't help me relate to the main idea of the text. And that's okay, because it hooks the reader and draws you in. That's what makes it interesting. But y'all, it does not relate to the main idea at all. The third thing that we're going to record on this anchor chart is an important detail is a detail that supports the main idea of the text. Without this detail, I cannot fully understand the main idea of this text. So it's kind of like a chair. You know, you have your seat and you have your legs, okay? This is one of those legs that supports the main idea. If there is a detail in a text and you are to say, if I take that out, I don't have a main idea, then boy, you know that's an important detail. However, if you're reading a detail in a text and it is an opinion that you may or may not agree with, that's just interesting. Someone's opinion doesn't necessarily support the main idea. It just grabs you in and hooks you in. Finally, an important detail is a major fact, y'all. This is something that definitely has repeated words. It's definitely a word that you're going to see or find in the title or a subtitle.